They say the sea never forgets what it takes, but that night, when I returned to my grandmother's house, I discovered that it also never forgets what it leaves behind. It had been 15 years since I'd last been there. An old house, perched alone atop a cliff. The sound of the waves crashing against the rocks was the same, constant and hypnotic. The wood creaked under my feet, and the air smelled of salt and memories. The house looked the same, but something in the air felt different. The curtains swayed, though there was no wind, and the old window facing the sea was open. I stepped inside carefully. The clock on the wall had stopped, frozen at 11:17 p.m., the exact time my grandmother had died. The old photographs were still on the shelf, covered in dust. But what caught my eye was a teacup sitting on the table, still slightly warm. I froze. My heart raced. No one was supposed to be there, or at least that's what I wanted to believe. I climbed the stairs slowly, each step groaning, as if the house itself whispered my name. In her room, everything remained untouched. The unfinished embroidery on the chair, the book open on page 74, and the window overlooking the sea. A cold breeze swept in, scattering pages from an old notebook across the floor. I knelt and picked one up. The handwriting was hers. The words were simple, but heavy, greater than "He still calls me on stormy nights." A chill ran down my spine. I looked out at the sea. Dark, restless, alive. The sound of the waves grew louder, closer, as if something wanted to climb the cliff. Suddenly, the old radio on the dresser turned on by itself, static. Then, faintly, an old tune, the same one she used to play when I was a child. I went to the radio, but the dial had been broken for years. It couldn't possibly be working. "Grandma," I whispered. The music stopped. Silence filled the room. And then, in the window, something moved. I stepped closer. Outside, through the fog and sea spray, I saw a figure, a woman standing at the edge of the cliff, her back to me, her white dress fluttering in the wind. The same dress my grandmother had worn at my grandfather's funeral. I ran downstairs and out the door. The mist was thick, the roar of the ocean blending with the pounding of my heart. I called out, but the wind swallowed my voice. She was gone. Only footprints led to the cliff's edge and stopped there. Suddenly, the house's window slammed shut behind me. I turned and saw something in the glass, a reflection, her reflection. I ran back inside, slammed the door, and froze. The window was open again, and on the windowsill lay a small object, a seashell necklace, the same one I had thrown into the sea as a child, the day I swore I'd never come back. My hands trembled as I picked it up, and then I felt it, a presence behind me, a familiar scent, a soft, maternal voice. "Do you remember what you promised, my boy?" I closed my eyes. Her voice echoed from somewhere deep within me. Tears welled up. I promised I'd return when the sea called me. And it did. The candle flame beside me flickered. The walls seemed to breathe, the wind alive. Then, slowly, the window began to close, creaking as if fighting against something unseen. But before it shut completely, I heard one last whisper, rising from the sea. Greater than it was, never the sea that took me. I chose to stay. The waves crashed harder against the rocks, and the house trembled. Then, silence. The radio turned on once more, playing the same tune, faint, peaceful. The candle went out, and I stood there, motionless, staring at the now closed window. When morning came, the house looked different, brighter, calm. On the windowsill lay a single white rose, fresh, still wet with dew. And the clock, once stopped, now read 6 a.m. I stepped outside and walked to the edge of the cliff. The wind was soft, the sea calm. For the first time, I felt no fear, only peace. Before leaving, I turned back one last time. In the window facing the sea, I swear I saw a woman smiling behind the glass. She waved, and the window closed for the last time.